Hebrews chapter 12, verse 29. For our God is a consuming fire. Exodus chapter 15, verse 7. You overthrew your adversaries by your great majesty. You unleashed your burning wrath. It consumed them like stubble. My God is a consuming fire. His majesty makes me invincible over any and every adversary. His flame sets my flesh-induced weaknesses alight. I am not weighed down by desire to go astray or cruise in life's delays, because now my spirit can take flight in unrelenting pursuit of the cloud by day and the fire by night. I'm fired up. I'm on the offensive. No time for sleep when Satan sending flaming darts into the hearts of the lost and weak. Christians talk about the armor of God in reference to defending against our enemies. But how many of us are picking up swords, waging spiritual wars in prayer on our knees? It's time to get fired up and get on the offensive. Too many are living life lukewarm, and the fire cannot spread if we remain sitting on fences. God's given you a gift, and it's unique too. Others might possess it, but it cannot be used in the exact way that God plans to use this gift through you. I'm lit with a fire that consumes whole armies. I'm lit with a fire that devours diseases that we say are incurable or simply withhold from healing. I am lit with a fire that takes vengeance on injustice. A fire that only grows more hungry, taking no prisoners. It's my God who does this. I am lit with a fire that swallows poverty and deprivation whole. A fire so fierce and raw, but yet a fire that truly cares and cannot bear to see Satan's robbery of souls. I am lit with a mighty fire that grabs death by the neck and burns it to a crisp, and has the ability to do this with our messy lives, and yet chooses to resist. And why? Out of love and kindness. Instead, he wants to help us, and he lavishes his children with gifts. When you're given presents, it's unlikely that you will leave them sitting unopened. So when we get them from God, why do we find ourselves doing this with gratitude unspoken? Is it that we fear to be used? Is it that we fear to be open? I'm learning to be comfortable with being vulnerable and using my gift, because I have experienced a fire so terrifying that it strips away all fear when we are bold enough to walk right into it. My soul is set alight, and I am called to be just like Daniel by sharing with others the soul-edifying nourishment that God's fire cooks up. So in sharing this poem, I flex in the strength and boldness of the Lord, because this is food for thought. My God has made me good enough. I am even more qualified than those who pass me by in educational achievement, social class, talents, aesthetics, and popularity, because the fire of God blazes the trail to the highest standard. What's important to Christ and what's important to me is a heart set on fire for Him that transcends all things into eternity. The fire of my God is so huge that it eclipses the lie that I am unworthy of being a co-heir with Christ, that I am unworthy of standing tall with a posture equated with the divine due to sins committed in darkness or in my life before, because presently I'm way past it and my future is truly bright. Use whatever God has given you. It is a torchlight in your life's wilderness. It is the fulfillment of spirit birth potential to thrive and give to others the same truth that God's light gives to you. This is not fake news, and nor is the vicious cycle of evil spirits at work that each of us is yet to use our God-given fire to consume. I'm hearing about skanks popping off in your ends. I'm seeing attacks on the lives of God's children, increasingly lost to scars, sustained by a cut of the knife, the spin of a jaw, the slit of a lifeline. God's fire has equipped us with gifts to go set God's people free from wickedness like this. But some of us have taken a long pit stop on the way to our Egypt. In fact, some of us are still waiting on a burning bush when it has long ago spoken. The instruction has already been given. Your promised land awaits in the gift you've been bestowed but refused to open. We can't transport lives to freedom if our tank is running on empty, tire bust, no key in ignition. For the sake of others, we must be driven. This is not a metaphor. We cannot light up nations on our own. We need the mobilization of God's fire. We are His hands and feet, and so we must continue to climb higher. These are serious bars, hotter than fire in the booth. Mainstream artists use what they think is their gift without fear. But as children of God, we struggle to put the vehicle of our gifts into fifth gear. The fire in that booth does not stir up my spirit, so I know that it can't be the real thing. I got to stop tuning in and get into the word where God's got mad bars that I can use to consume anxiety and doubt at the turn of life's roundabouts. I'm talking about the power to make pharaohs, prime ministers, and presidents bow down, not to you, but to the Lord that you serve. A fire that consumes all evil intentions, a fire that could put the plans of world leaders into reverse. I'm tapping into my blessing because far too many are cursed. And most importantly, because my God is a consuming fire. His majesty makes me invincible over any and every adversary. His flame sets my flesh-induced weaknesses alight. I am no longer weighed down by desire to go astray or cruise in life's delays, because now my spirit can take flight in unrelenting pursuit of the fire by day, the cloud by day, and the fire by night. That right there is Christ's definition of being truly lit. I want to ask you what your definition of being lit is right now. If it's not the same as his, then you could be missing out on countless opportunities to let your light shine. There may be others who surpass you in a number of ways, but he specifically chooses broken jars of clay like me and you to show his light. Unwavering perfection is not the mandate. You are set apart for a reason. God doesn't want you to hide him from the world or away from yourself. Fire can't be hidden, and God's fire can't be put out. So if you're denying your calling, it's time you chose to step out.